Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Travel Tips Tuesday on this Tuesday, April the 22nd, 2025. We've got a few things to cover tonight, and just want to appreciate you, know that you're appreciated. Appreciate you? Yeah, I do want to appreciate you. I appreciate you being here to go over a few things tonight about a topic that I like to review every now and then. I believe this is the third time that we've talked about this in the history of Travel Tips Tuesday over the past few years. And I'd like to revisit this hopefully before summer because it's a very important topic to help folks be able to have a fantastic vacation. We're going to start it off with this question here. How do you beat the heat at Walt Disney World in the summer? How do you beat the heat at Walt Disney World in the summer? That is our topic for tonight. And I want to get some feedback from you guys and gals that are out there. So if you do have some answers to this question, feel free to drop those. Would love to hear from you. Would love to know that you're here. Would love to know that you're watching or listening. Let us know in the comments that you are hanging out with us tonight, and would love to know that. So, and like I said, appreciate you being here and joining me. So again, tonight, this is Travel Tips Tuesday. It is April the 22nd, 2025, and we are talking about beating the heat at Walt Disney World. Before we get into the topic, though, we do have some news we need to go over. There have been a lot of different things going on in the Disneyverse that I would like to cover, and hopefully we will be doing a show specifically on a different verse, that is Epic Universe, that is opening 1 month from today. That is right. Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort is opening up 1 month from today. I will not be there on opening day, but I will be there a few days before, hopefully, and be able to give you a firsthand account of what that amazing park is all about. Everything that I've seen so far is looking pretty awesome. Universal does not allow cameras on their attractions, so no POV spoilers out there. The only thing that I've seen are some basically or pictures like with some of the character walk around character interactions and things like that are out there. Heard some great things about some of the attractions, and I'm really looking forward to experiencing that and reporting back for all of you because I've gotten a little bit of interest in Epic Universe, and definitely want to make sure you guys are prepped for that. Even if you're planning a trip to Disney, maybe we're spending a couple of days at Universal just so you can hang out at Epic Universe for a bit, because as of right now, the only way that you can get a ticket to Epic Universe is one, if you're a pass holder and you're able to get one of the pass holder preview tickets, or two, you book basically a package that includes tickets with a 1-day ticket to Epic Universe, or some tickets that are basically 2-day tickets. It's 1 day to either Islands of Adventure or Universal or Universal Studios Florida, or basically their version of a park hopper, their park to park ticket between both. So you do 1 day doing those two parks, and then 1 day doing Epic Universe. So you got questions about booking tickets to Epic Universe or package Universal Orlando, would love to talk to you about that. That's all I'm going to say about Universal tonight, because our conversation is all about Walt Disney World, as I mentioned. We do have a ton of deals that Disney has been dropping recently. It feels like you blink and, oh, there's another one. Blink, oh, there's another one. I wonder why, right? If you're wondering why, you're just stumbling into this conversation, rewind about 30 seconds and maybe you can figure it out. But anyway, there's a Disney Plus subscriber offer going on right now. There is a free dining plan available right now as well. There's a Disney Visa card holder promotion. There's another promotion where you can save up to 30% off. There's an annual pass holder promotion running right now for rooms as well for Walt Disney World, which is pretty typical. That's one of the things that you usually see at Disney, regardless of the time of year. Within availability. There's also another offer, because as of today, you can now book packages for 2026 through October 31st, 2026. You can book packages to Walt Disney World, and there's a free dining plan for kids offer available for 2026, where basically the adults on the package have to book a dining plan, quick service, or the Disney dining plan. And then the kids ages 3 to 9 will qualify for a free dining plan. So could be a way to go ahead and build some excitement for your next trip, and get that on the books so you can go ahead and start planning some magic for 2026. So exciting times, right? It's hard to believe we're on the tail end of April here, I feel like. And basically almost entering our 5th month of the year. So it's time to start planning for 26. Spring break season is pretty much done. And we are heading towards summer travel season. And then before you know it, it'll be the holiday season again, fall break, all those sorts of things. So let's see, sorry, I have turned my notifications off, but or on, and we're going to turn those back off so I'm not distracted here and have squirrel moments. So beating the heat at Walt Disney World. Let's start getting into that a little bit, shall we? So how do you beat the heat at Walt Disney World? Again, if you have a question, you'd love to offer your comments, your sage wisdom about beating the heat at Walt Disney World during the summer, please feel free to drop those ideas in the comments here. I have a few things that some folks have dropped in as a response to the question of the day here, which again would love for you to have your answer here. But before we get into those personal responses, I'm going to offer up a few little tidbits from personal experience, from things that clients have done, other agents have done, and want to just kind of help you digest maybe a plan of action if you're planning on traveling to the Walt Disney World Resort this summer, or maybe you're going to another destination where you will be outside a good bit and it's warm. So tip number 1 is this: plan your timing. Figure out, what kind of family you are, what kind of group you are, couple, individual, person, what your plan of attack is going to be. Now, if you want to go to Walt Disney World during the summer and just kind of go at it willy-nilly, do your thing, and just, not really have much of a plan, by all means, go for it. But make sure you're entirely flexible, because you never know what's going to happen during the middle of the summer, right? So, except the heat, that's going to happen. And there's probably going to be a rain shower around usually sometime between 3 and 3:15 in the afternoon. So, basically May, June, July, August, September, October-ish. So build in that flexibility first of all, but try to be intentional about your timing when you're going to visit the park. Are you a rope drop kind of person or not? Do you want to be there before the park opens and, hit the early entry hours? If you're staying at a Disney resort, take advantage of those. Like, that's a fantastic idea. But by getting there, obviously you're going to be there at the cooler times of the day, which is fantastic. Usually those summer hours, you really start to feel the heat. I would probably say usually around like between 10:30 in the morning. So getting there earlier in the day, like if the park opens at 9 or 8:30, whatever the case is, get there as early as you can and take advantage of those moments. You're probably saying, well, you're going to be tired from being at the parks. If this is not your first day, maybe it's the day after a travel day, you're already tired. Don't worry, we've got a plan for that. So go ahead, get there early. Maybe even grab a coffee from the Starbucks or a Joffrey's in the park, maybe a pastry for breakfast, maybe bring breakfast with you. A bagel. You can bring food into the Disney parks, which is a great way to save money and just take a little bit of stress off your plate, as it were. There's a great food pun for you. So I want to get to a comment from my friend Raul here. Rope drop, get in and get out, back to the resort for a nap and spend the afternoon in the pool, back to the parks once it cools off. So this is a great pro tip, especially for families, but really even if you don't have families. So, some folks may not want to do this, especially if you're only in the parks for maybe a couple of days or 3 days, or maybe even, 1 day. But definitely if you're going to be there, I would say be in the parks 4 or 5 days, probably even 3, especially if you have young children. They will act like they have all sorts of energy and want to keep going all day long. But, if you've been around young kids, you know what it's like being out and your kids are on the go constantly. The excitement eventually starts to wear off just a little bit. Like it's still there, but they can get a little cranky when they're not rested well. So taking them back for a midday nap or maybe a little dip in the pool is a great idea. Case in point was at Walt Disney World this past or last summer. I believe it was in July with my own kids, my 4 kids, and we stayed at the Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort for a bit, and they have a great feature pool there that we love that has a couple of slides in it. And our room was in one of the buildings that was not about halfway between the main feature pool and the Skyliner station, so the location was great. Didn't plan for that; it just kind of happened by happens or occurred by happenstance there. And we would go back partway during the day and enjoy some time in the pool because it got hot, y'all. I mean, we don't. You just don't make yourself miserable, right? On your vacation that you're spending lots of time and money in. Take care of yourself so you can enjoy it and you can build memories back at the hotel. You'll have a lot of fun. You'll see things at the resort that maybe you wouldn't have seen otherwise. Unless you're the kind of folks that just like a place to lay your head and that's about it, which is fine also. But just be realistic and set your own expectations and what everybody in your group is capable of and wants. If you are more well rested, which we don't go to Disney to get sleep, right? I mean, we kind of understand that. But if you're more well rested, then you'll enjoy yourself a little bit more, and people around you will be in better moods, which is always a plus. Which is always a plus indeed. So I'm gonna pop this in here. So my friend David says Mickey ice cream bars beat the heat. Way to beat the heat. Mickey ice cream bars. That's a pro tip if I ever heard one. I'm kind of partial to the old Dole Whip floats myself, but he has a good point. Frozen treats while you're in the parks are a great way to beat the heat. If you are an Epcot fan or go by Epcot for the grown-ups that are out there, La Cava del Tequila in the Mexico Pavilion has some fantastic frozen margaritas. Can help with those whining kids too, from time to time. Also, you want to as you're planning your trip, think about ways to make it a little bit more efficient. So you're not stressing yourself out. You don't feel like necessarily that you're missing a lot. You're being intentional in the planning process if you choose to do that. Utilizing lightning lanes, utilizing if you have you yourself or somebody in your traveling party qualifies for the disability access service. That's another way to reduce the stress of your Disney vacation and help you enjoy those moments you have during the day together. That's kind of outside of just beating the heat, so to speak. But staying cool in the park, specifically those cooling towels that you see kind of pop up everywhere. Disney does have some that you can purchase. I suggest not necessarily spending, $10 or whatever they may be at the Disney parks or a hotel and buying one of those Disney cooling towels. I mean, it's a cooling towel, right? Go on Amazon. You can probably purchase them in bulk. You can probably find them at like a Sam's Club, a BJ's Warehouse, or a Costco, something like that. And bring one of those cooling towels with you. There are water refilling stations. There are water fountains. There are bathrooms all over the place at Disney, so you can find a place to keep that water, that towel refreshed. Also, if you bring your own water bottle, what you can do, bring one that's usually I have one in here in my office, but I don't have it with me. Maybe one of those that are double wall stainless and keep ice in it, like a Yeti, an Arctic, just maybe it's like I don't know, a Hydro Flask or an Owala bottle, something like that that's really well insulated, has ice in it. That'll help, plus that cooling towel experience. Portable fans and misting fans are always a plus. You've probably seen them around. There are some at Disney usually that they sell that will be in carts close to park entrances and exits, usually along like Main Street, Magic Kingdom, and close to more crowded areas. Especially areas that don't have shade. So, there will be opportunities in the parks to purchase those things and in the resorts as well. But again, I suggest buying stuff on Amazon, Walmart, Target. Even if you drive down, if you're going to be down there for a few days, maybe setting up a delivery to your resort hotel with some of these things is a great idea. Hydration packs. You maybe remember the old Camelbacks that were really popular for a long time. They have those water bladders that fit inside backpacks that you can put in using those as well. You can find them at like running stores, outdoor stores, stuff like that. So let's get to some of the other questions that we have. Again, our question of the day right here is, how do you beat the heat at Walt Disney World during the summer? This one right here, Tyler commented, park hopper option and water park access. Yes. So park hopper option will help you, again, see more in a shorter amount of time and not necessarily be limited to one park. There is a strategy, a planning strategy to utilizing your park hopper tickets if that's what you decide to do. But the water park access, you can get the park hopper with the water park access, which is fantastic. But remember that this year for 2025, Disney is offering any on property. This is one of those benefits that I was reminded of very recently. Disney is offering any on property hotel guest at any of the Disney owned hotels admission to one of the water parks the first day of their visit. So your check-in day. So that's why you may want to plan on getting there a little early, or maybe coming down, staying somewhere else the night before, and then coming and, either dropping your bags at your hotel, wearing your swimsuits and heading off to the water park. So it's a great way to get a little bit extra out of your trip and to stay cool in the process and make some great memories. By the way, as far as water parks go, we may need to do a water park exclusive show, because both water parks at Disney, Blizzard Beach, and gosh, the other one. Sorry, my brain just went. If you're watching, you know the name of the other water park besides Blizzard Beach. Typhoon Lagoon. There, it came to me. So Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon will both be open at the same time for the first time, I think, pre-COVID, through the summer. So that's awesome news. There'll be a lot of opportunity there to make some memories and get wet and stay cool and go on some cool slides. So a water park access is a great way to do that. And the water parks are very easily accessible, either by car or you can hop on the Disney bus transportation and hop over there from your Disney Resort hotel. So great thought there. Now let's talk practically very quickly. If you are in the parks, maybe you're not headed back to the resort to take a nap, but you want to take a nap in the park, or you just feel hot and you just want to take a break, right? You just maybe want to go inside. You're having trouble finding shade. If you're at Magic Kingdom, Carousel of Progress, Mickey's PhilharMagic, Hall of Presidents, fantastic air conditioning. Look for those big attractions that have big auditoriums. Usually those are going to be the ones with some of the best air conditioning out there. Okay, so think about that. Strategize your park planning day. Maybe hit those attractions with the larger capacities on them where you can sit down for a bit. And maybe close your eyes for a moment, but don't necessarily go there just for that, because these are some fantastic attractions. Carousel of Progress is wonderful. Mickey's PhilharMagic is a lot of fun. And Hall of Presidents is, educational and I think has a historical significance for Walt Disney World as well. Epcot, The Seas with Nemo and Friends, Spaceship Earth, nothing like nodding off to Dame John. Nothing like nodding off to Dame Judi Dench narrating your nap on Spaceship Earth. Of course, American Adventure is great. Hollywood Studios, Muppet Vision 3D for the very short near future. The Frozen sing-along is wonderful. Don't go there for a nap. Good air conditioning, but don't go there for a nap, because it's a fun show. Now, even if you're a grown-up and you're like, Frozen is dumb, whatever, I don't like Disney cartoons, I'm just there for the, I don't know, thrill rides or whatever. The Disney Frozen sing-along is not just a sing-along. It's much more than that. It's very interactive. The cast there are amazing. They do a really good job of interacting with the audience, and you'll be laughing your head off by the end of it. Mickey Minnie's Railway is another good indoor attraction. Animal Kingdom Festival of the Lion King is indoors. It's a fantastic show. I absolutely love it. To this day, one short little video that I have on Instagram is the highest viewed video that I have on Instagram, reel. And it's one from Festival of the Lion King. So it is a really, really good show. If you've never been able to see The Lion King on Broadway, like myself, Disney Confessions, coming out here, make sure you take the time to go see Festival of the Lion King. It is a fantastic show. The special effects in it, the tumble monkeys, like the puppeteers, all of it is very, very well done at Animal Kingdom. Make a point of seeing that, and also Finding Nemo musical as well. The newer version of it is wonderful. So again, finding those attractions that are indoors, that are maybe a little bit longer than some, is a great way to beat the heat and still be in the park, and maybe help some folks in your group be in a little bit better mood. Sweet treats. We talked about the Mickey Premium Bars, frozen slushies that you can find all over the place at different kiosks, Dole Whips, Dole Whip floats, the Dole Whip swirls that are out there. Again, I'm a pineapple Dole Whip float. Don't at me, don't hate me for that, people, but that's just what it is. And then I mentioned the frozen margaritas at the Mexico Pavilion. Your dress also is important. Don't overdress. Don't carry too much with you. Don't feel like you've got to carry house and home, because having a heavy bag that you have to haul around all day long can weigh you down and wear you out a little bit more quickly. Wear comfortable shoes as well. Maybe even breathable, comfortable, well-supporting sandals. Hat and sunglasses are huge. Sunscreen as well is a must for taking it to the park. Bring it in the park. Don't pay for it in the park, because you'll pay more for it, like you will some other things. Not afraid to tell you that here, though you can find it. It is available in the park, and even aloe if you happen to get sunburned, those sorts of things. If you can't find that stuff, first aid station, the baby care center should be one of your first stops. They can usually either help you out, find some, sell you some, or tell you where you can get it. Also checked out the splash zones that are out there at most of the parks, except for Disney's Hollywood Studios, unfortunately. And again, don't discount hopping out of the park, back to your resort, and hanging out in the pool for a bit. So mentioned this, Jennifer mentioned the Joy of the Show spread throughout the day to get the AC. We talked about some of those options there, and the towels and fans as well. So, and then Nicole also mentioned the spray zones in the park and cool off, and she mentioned as well that Hollywood needs one, which would be fantastic. So again, this is sort of a rapid fire way to help you stay cool and beat the heat at Walt Disney World when you're going. If you are traveling with children, this is very important as well, to make sure that they are hydrated. Make sure you are hydrated along the way. Carrying those little like mix-ins, electrolyte mix-ins, like Liquid IV if you want something a little bit more stout, or the Propel like packets you get to mix in, or like Gatorade mix in, stuff like that. Bring those with you. You can also get, this was not on my list, but want to make sure everybody remembers, you can get a free cup of fantastically filtered Florida tap water from any ice tap water from any quick service restaurant to refill your water bottles with. I like doing that when I can, as opposed to going to some of the bottle refilling stations, because usually there's ice in them and it stays colder longer, which is a huge plus when you're in the parks. So a lot of great things you can do. It is possible to go to Walt Disney World during the summer and have a fantastic time. Will it be warm? Yes. Yes, it will be warm. It's important to take care of yourself. It's important to stay cool in a very literal way, and have a strategy going into it for knowing how you're going to beat the heat at Walt Disney World while you're visiting during those times. So appreciate you guys visiting me on this, I almost said Thursday. It's Tuesday. It's been a long day, folks. It's been a long day here as we talk about beating the heat at Walt Disney World. Thank you again for joining me on this episode of Travel Tips Tuesday. If you would like to get in touch with me, check out my landing page here at travelmationjohn.com. I do offer full service concierge level travel planning services. I am certified in accessible travel, luxury, groups, and destination weddings. I work with groups of all sizes and will love the chance to plan you a magical trip to Disney or Epic Universe, or somewhere in between or beyond. So thank you again for joining me. We hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.